All right, good afternoon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's get into it. I'm Kenyatta, the ArtKitech. On this channel, we destroy and build simultaneously, for there can be no resurrection without destruction. Once again, I'm Kenyatta, but you will refer to me as Miss Kenyatta, ma'am, queen, goddess, high priestess, empress, or whatever I tell you to refer to me as. I have no enemies. The enemies of God have been defeated, but if God is the creator of both the good and the evil, God has no enemies. Love and goodwill taken care of within eliminates that without. Hello, whomever has joined. Anyway, I will not tolerate anyone being disrespectful to me or unkind to me, or common with me or anyone else who supports me on my channel. You will be eliminated, okay, from my channel and from my space. Will definitely not tolerate anyone and their bully shit. Okay, whether that being that to me or anyone who supports me genuinely on this platform. I'm on here obviously a little earlier than normal because it is a snow day. I would be at work, but it is a snow day today. All right. And I'm sitting right by my window and I'm looking at the snow just falling. I went out there a few minutes ago. It's supposed to be like 5 to 8 inches of snow. Of course, they called school off yesterday. I went outside. No, I looked outside this morning at about 6 and it wasn't anything there. I said, they called school off too early, and I thought about it. It does not mean it's going to be a snowstorm. During the day, it's supposed to last until I think 11 o'clock tonight or something like that. Sometimes, I kind of like the snowfall because it feels like just a covering, like a nice blanket. I'm talking about the first snowfall, well, it's not the first one, but these snowfalls like this where there was nothing, and then here comes this beautiful white snow, and it's just covering everything. And one year, I took pictures of Forest Hill Park. If you're going up here in Cleveland, you're going up. Is that going up Forest Hill? You're going up Forest Hill, and the park on the right and the left, and the trees, hang over the street. And that snowfall is just so beautiful. And I took some pictures of it and put it on Facebook. Got a lot of people like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Where are you? Cleveland. But actually, Cleveland, there's some very, very beautiful places here in Cleveland. We got bodies of water, the lake, rivers, streams, just everywhere. Places you don't even realize. I've gone on some walks and you look over into the woods right in the city and there's a stream down there. You didn't even know it was there. So it's a lot of water here in this area. A lot of trees, okay? I think my sibling used to tell me they called it the tree city. It's not, those weren't the exact words, but it's something along those lines because of all the trees, because for it to have been a major city, they didn't, cut down a lot of the trees. Of course, it's not as large as many of the other major cities. I don't even know if Cleveland is considered a major city anymore. Do they consider it by the population, the number of people, or what? Because there used to be a lot more people in the city of Cleveland. I mean, I live in one of the suburbs now, but they used to be. But Cleveland is like, when I was in college, my freshman year, when I was at Howard, a friend of mine, she lived in St. Louis, but actually she lived in a suburb of St. Louis. So I went to visit her that summer after our first year. Man, I had so much fun in St. Louis. That was one of the cities. I met some guys here one time. They were working at, where did me and my daughter go to eat? We were at a drive-through at one of them chicken spots. Cane's. I'm not that crazy about Cane's, but my daughter, she likes it. So we were there, and it was some guys working there on the whatever the drive-through stuff is, okay. And we got to talking, and they were telling me they were from St. Louis, and I was like, that was a city I went to where I had some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. I mean, just so laid back and just so cool. And just funny, fun. I just had a great time there. But anyway, and that explains her, because she was like that. She was a real fun person, real funny, great sense of humor. But when I met her friends, oh my God, it was nonstop laughter for me. But anyway, every city is different, has different energy, and people are different and whatnot. And that was one place where, like, even talking to them, I was like, yeah, I can feel y'all's energy. St. Louis, they were like what I had encountered when I was there. But shit, I can't remember. I was talking about the snow and whatnot early, and I can't remember. And I know I said I was gonna work on this, thing, but I have not really been working on it. Maybe I will. So I got a little table here. I forgot what's here in the apartment that I moved in. And I was like, okay, I can use that for the time being, but I don't like it. It kind of just dips in the middle, but it's cool for now. But anyway, I'm trying to remember what I was saying. Oh, but so anyway, yeah, my friend, she lived there. So that summer I wrote her a letter, but I put the right zip code, but I put St. Louis, but it was returned back to me. And I called her and I asked her, I was like, I want to make sure I have the address right. She was like, yeah, you have it right. And she said, but you can't put St. Louis, you have to put the suburb, and I said, okay, so I did that. But like here, it's like, if you were to, this is how it used to be, send a letter here, and like I said, I live in one of the suburbs. I don't live in the city. I used to live in the city. I don't live in the city anymore. But if you sent a letter to me and you put Cleveland, but put the right area, zip code, I always get area code, zip code, right zip code, I would still get it, So, but anyway, I don't know why it's like that here, but it is. I've talked to other people out there, like, is it just me? And it's like, no, it is like that here in Cleveland. And like when you say Cleveland, the inner city of Cleveland, but you don't just think of just the city of Cleveland. You think about the surrounding suburbs as well. But anyway, what was I going to say? That's Cleveland. Oh, about that. I can't. Well, that just in general. In general. Oh, so I was saying, I don't know if Cleveland is still considered a major city. I know it used to be in the top 10. We're talking about like in the 80s, something like that, but I don't know now. I mean, I know that the population has decreased. But see, that I've talked to people about it, and they say, well, here it's like the decrease is not necessarily people leaving Cleveland, moving out of state or to a different, like Columbus or, Akron or Cincinnati or something like that. No, can be them moving out of the city of Cleveland to the surrounding suburbs as well. So I don't know. I did read something about what the population was, numbers like was it the 80s or the 90s? And then how it was a huge exodus out of Cleveland. All right. So I don't know. But anyway, he was telling me about, how they kept a lot of the trees here in the city. I think I've talked about that before. I'm pretty sure I have. Tend to be repetitive, but that's all right. Anyway, so I'm here early. We're going to do a reading. I haven't been on here in a few days. I've made some posts to my community tab. Okay. Like I said, people must put over there want to slander me and say all these evil things about me. Like I wanted to say on my last video, this woman didn't just try to ruin my YouTube life, which is whatever. She tried to ruin the entirety of my life based off of her jealousy and lies. And I posted some things, and then we see how she has spiritually attacked others who have come to her for spiritual guidance, not to be terrorized spiritually. Okay. All right. I had the cutest interaction yesterday. It was so funny. I was working at the kindergarten in a totally different room than I had been in before. And the students who were giving, I don't want to say the most trouble, they weren't giving me trouble. They were just the most active, okay? Just would not sit still, would not be quiet. It was so funny that, and just would not do what they were supposed to be doing. They all had biblical names. It was Judah, Eli for Elijah, Silas, Jacob. I was like, if this is not the funniest thing right here, okay? Um, but there was a little boy there who just came in, did everything he was supposed to do, and just sat down. And he was so quiet. And, when they first come into the room at the beginning of the day, teachers have work for them to do. They call it, I think they call it bell work or morning work or whatever. It's different from school to school, class to class, whatever. And we didn't have anything like that. I've been looking at a lot of the shorts and the TikTok videos and videos on Generation X, which is my generation, and what it was like and how we are in general. And it's like, it's so true. Kind of makes you proud to be part of that generation. I'm not putting any other generation down, but it's so funny to me, like all of the fears, so many fears I feel like the world lives in now, and so much can't say this, can't say that, can't say this, can't say that. We live through all of that. And it's like, okay, it seems it's so soft, let's just be soft. Whereas for my generation, it was hardly like that, like this storm right here. I mean, 5 to 8 inches, that's a lot. Okay. But I always talk about how growing up that now I was always driven to school. Well, it was some years I rode the bus. I did. But we would just get right out in the snow, snow pants, snow boots. I see some of these children with snow pants on, a little snowsuit and everything, and the boots, and it's like it's not even anything out here for all of that. But it's a different time, You hardly have any snow on the ground, but different time period. But we went through it all. It had to be like really, really, really bad for them to close school. And I know there are others out there who live in these cold states. So it's like I was watching one reader, and she was talking about how schools closed because of the weather. Like the schools closed on, I've hardly worked this week. I went to work on, and I have to work Monday, of course, because of the holiday. I didn't have to work Tuesday because it was a day that subs don't have to go. Wednesday was closed because of the temperature. Which actually here it ended up being that day like 19 degrees. Well, I saw it vacillating between 21 and 19 degrees. I would go to school in 21 degrees, 19 degrees. We would go to school. I even remember one time being in school, the heater was off, and it was like, y'all put y'all coats on, and they didn't send us home. Put your coats on, your gloves on, just put your shit on, and we go to class, and sat in class and did our work. But I remember I could have sworn Sunday or Monday, I looked at my phone and said 4 degrees. It was cold this past weekend. It was really cold. And I'm just out there with no gloves on, no hat, no boots. I just went out there just now with some tennis shoes on, sneakers, whatever you call them, with the snow hitting my ankles, like whatever. It'll melt when I get inside. Okay, but the snow right now is soft, which is good. I don't know what's going to happen with that driveway. I don't shovel, and I don't think the other person that lives in this house shovels either. So, hey, okay, but we'll make it through. We will make it through, all right? All right. But anyway, I had an interaction with this little boy. He comes to class, and he did everything he was supposed to do. Took off his hat, gloves, and all of that kind of stuff the way he was supposed to. I mean, coat and everything. Hangs it up, and instead of getting his morning work, he just goes sit down. And all the other kids, I was looking like, All the other kids came in and they did exactly what they're supposed to do, got their morning work and everything. He was just sitting there. So I asked him, I said, "Are you not going to get your morning work?" And he looked at me. He said, "No." It's okay. And I just waited a minute. I said, "Are you tired?" He said, "No." He was just sitting there like this. Okay, so all the other children were coming in, getting their stuff. Okay, putting their stuff, doing their morning work, talking, and we got a substitute, and all of that type of thing. So I said to myself, "We can't just sit there." So I went up to him. I waited a considerable amount of time, and I went to him. I said, "Are you sleepy?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, so I'm not going to bother you." And this is what I'm thinking. I'm not going to bother you. But there are times when I will say being a substitute is not much money in it. Okay, I'm not telling anyone, make that a career. You're not gonna make any money. Okay, but it has its pros. Okay, the funny thing is when I work with K through, well, at least maybe K through 3, definitely kindergarten first. I didn't used to like working with kindergarten at all. Okay, I did because kindergarten. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it now. But before I was like, mm-mm. I did a couple times when I first started. I was like, mm-mm. I will not work with kindergarten ever. But now I don't have a problem with. I mean, because before it's like, I mean, all day yesterday. I don't know how many. They was telling on each other all day. And it's like, okay, it's okay. Once they stop telling on each other, okay. Um, that whole thing with snitching and like that's a bad thing. I don't the fuck get the fuck out of here. Okay. So people out there doing causing mayhem in people's lives and shit. They tell goddamn. Somebody got to stop the motherfucker. Okay. The motherfucker's got to be stopped. Okay. Causing undue mayhem in people's fucking lives. Okay. If you know. Now, I did when I lived in Cleveland and I lived in the house my grandparents left. I pull up to my driveway and a man comes to me, okay, and of course I'm looking at him like, what the fuck, because he comes up to my car door and he starts asking me about someone that lived a few houses down, and I was looking at him like, he asked me, did I know him? I knew who he was. I didn't know him personally. And I told him no, and he starts asking me all these questions. I was like, I don't know anything about what you're asking me. And he said, the only reason I'm asking you is because he's was trying to get into the fire department or some shit like that, and we have to do. I don't give a fuck what you got to do. I don't know nothing about that man or nothing or his life. Okay, and I didn't. Okay, I knew who he was, but even on that, no, I'm not telling. No, I don't know who he is. Okay, fuck out of here. I don't know you. And just because you're saying that you're coming here asking these questions for that does not mean that that's the case. Fuck out of here. Okay. But all that telling on each other yesterday, it was getting on my nerves. Now some things needed to be told so I could, straighten it out in the room. This is a problem. Okay, you can't do that. All right. But anyway, so time goes on, and he really was not participating in any of the work. I said, well, would you like to get, oh, thank you for the one thumbs up. Would you like to get some paper and draw? He said, yes. I said, okay, get you some paper and draw. Because, I didn't want him just sitting there not doing anything. So then we had to do a little math lesson or whatever. That's what I was saying. K through first, second, and third. A lot of times, you got to teach. You can't just go in there like you can with fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Definitely middle school and on up, and say, okay, here's your lesson. It's in your Chromebook, work. Okay. You know, you want to teach them a lesson to keep their, I don't know, keep their shit going. Okay. They're learning and whatnot going. Can't just have little ones just be on a computer all day. It's not going to work. Okay. They're going to get restless because you would think they wouldn't, but they will. That's a long day. Okay, to do that. And then you don't want to miss any of their building blocks as much as you possibly can. I mean, I'm not a certified teacher, you know. Sometimes teachers have out their teaching manual and it's like, I can't read that, you know. But that's okay. I work with it the best that I can. And so we were doing a math block and they had to get their whiteboards, which is so interesting to me too. We didn't have that. When I was a kid, you know, we'd have these whiteboards and all that. Get you some paper and pencil. Okay. If you need to erase it, use the eraser on the pencil. But I saw that when they were writing their numbers for their work, he couldn't do it. So I said, I said, let me work with him. And I said, go ahead and write the number. And he tried. And I said, okay. He drew a circle. Okay. Well, it ended up being a circle, somewhat of a circle. And I said, okay, he can't write. And I said, we'll try to draw a zero. And he couldn't do it. And I said, you need help? He said, yes. So I helped him with that. And someone came in, you know, later on that assists, that works with students, certain students one-on-one. And we were talking about that particular student. I shared with her, and she said, yeah, he's just not, you know, she knows these students. He's not motivated. He doesn't seem motivated. And I said, okay. I said, well, I saw that he couldn't write his numbers. And I said, maybe that's why he didn't want to do any of the work. And she said, yeah, because when I work with students, a lot of times, even the older ones, those I find that may be the most, just have issues, you know, behavioral issues and whatnot. A lot of times they're just completely behind with their work. And sometimes they may act out in whatever way because they know that they're behind with their work. They know that they don't know how to read or how to write. I had a student one time in another district a few years back, and I had to work. I was doing a long-term intervention specialist position, and this student, he didn't know all of his letters. He didn't recognize all of his letters, but he was in the third grade. But he was like the class clown. He would drive me crazy. He would get on my nerves. And I was talking to some of the people, you know, that were teachers and whatnot, and they were saying, well, that's why, you know, because, you know, that was his first year in that district. He doesn't know his letters. So sometimes children act out because, you know, they're embarrassed or ashamed and they know that they don't know it. So it takes the attention off of them not knowing the work. So, but sometimes too, well, let me just keep on with this, the one I was working with yesterday. So, as the day went on, you know, I let him do the drawing and whatnot, you know, it's okay. As long as he's doing something. And they did some drawing and whatnot, you know, with the drawing that they did as an assignment, you know, I had him do that and he was fine with that. So what did he do? Oh, they had to color a little boy in a snowsuit. Okay, so you had the outline of the snowsuit, and they had to color. But so there was a circle drawn where the little boy's face would be because he, you know, had the whole snowsuit on with the hood and everything. So it was like, don't color in that circle. Well, most of them knew not to do that. So they're working, and one of the students comes to me and says, he tore his paper up, he ripped his paper up. They, like I said, they're telling on each other all day. So I called out to him and I said, come here, okay, because I understood that sometimes when he wouldn't get his stuff right, he would lash out. So he came, and because they asked me how, lady I was talking to, she asked me how's he doing today. I said he's fine. He's not causing any problems in the class. He's very quiet. He just won't do the work. so, so I'm giving him, I'm letting him draw, giving him something to do. So he came and I said, let me see the paper. And he was very hesitant, but he showed me the paper where he ripped it up. And he said, I messed up. I drew in the face. And I looked at it. I said, well, it's okay. It's okay that you did that. I said, but, we all make mistakes, but it was just a mistake. You just didn't know. You just made a mistake. I said, and that's okay. We all make mistakes. I said, so what we're going to do is, but I'm going to give you another one. I said, but you don't have to tear it up. You can just tell the teacher and show them the mistake that you made, and we can work on, figure it out together. So I was talking to him. I was trying to help him set up his, they did have some computer work, okay, like 15 minutes. So I was trying to help him set it up. And I said, you're having a rough day today, huh? And he just looked at me. He was the cutest little thing. He just looked at me. And he said, I miss my mama. I said, oh, you miss your mama? He said, yeah. I said, I miss my mama too. I said, I haven't seen my mama in a long time. And of course, I'm thinking since birth. Okay. I haven't seen my mama in a long time, And he just looked at me and shook his head. I said, but guess what? I said, we still, even though I miss my mama and you miss your mama, we still got to do our work, And he looked at me and I said, now you don't want to work on the computer? He said, no. I said, you like to work on it at home, don't you? He said, no. I said, what about the phone? And he looked at me and smiled. He said, yes. I said, well, it's the same thing. And he said, no, it's not. And I said, yes. I said, the phone is just a little computer on the phone with the apps where you play your games and everything. And he just looked like, oh, okay. And I said, so you want to do your computer now? You want to give it a try? He looked at me and smiled. He said, yes. He was so cute. So I gave him, so he did his work. Well, he got on the computer. I don't know what he did. Okay. But I believe he did the work that was on the computer. And it's just like working with them is such a learning lesson because, I came from, like I talk about Generation X, that old school, you know what I'm saying? You're going to do what you're told to do. Go somewhere, sit down, do the work. I want to hear it. Which sometimes that works. Okay. A lot of times that works. I have to, I refer to that. Well, when I first started, that's all I referred to. They used to give me the toughest rooms on purpose because it was like give that room to Miss Lewis. It was one district I would go to. They would give Miss Lewis. You remember that room last year? Yeah, where the demon room. I remember that they're in the third grade now or second grade, whatever grade they was in. We need you to go in that room today. Okay. But as I have matured over the years, I mean, I've only been doing it since I think 2019. Okay, I started subbing. You know, sometimes, what's that scripture about? Getting more flies with honey or something like that. So sometimes I found that when you're quiet and patient and talk to them from that place, you can get more out of them. You want to reach and connect and touch, and not just be combative. Okay. Because it can come off as combative. And then you really don't know what the child is dealing with. Okay. So sometimes you do got to be rough, though. Depends on, you'll be able to pick it up, figure it out, when you're in the room. And sometimes you have to do that. But then you have to be able to pick up on the energy of the child that you're working with. The child wasn't wild or rough, or I don't want to use the word bad, Okay, but what we would have called bad back in the day, the child wasn't any of that. The child just was not motivated in that room. um I don't know, like when he said, I miss my mama. I don't know if that's something. I just want to be home with my mother. I want to be here. I want to be home with my mother. If it's that, or it, because I asked him, I said, because sometimes children, you don't know what's going on at home. I said, well, she's picking you up. He said, I ride the bus. I said, well, you'll see her when you get home, right? And he said, yeah. So sometimes you don't know that you don't know what they're dealing with, and even if it's not anything all crazy and at home and emotional, like that or whatever. It's, you want to be able to touch the heart of the child. The child's a human being, shit, and not just yell and fuss at them and cuss them out without cussing them out. Basically, go sit your ass down and do what I'm telling you to do. Okay. Of course, you ain't gonna cuss at the children at all. But I'm saying that um, that you don't want that to be the spirit of it. So there are times though you have to kind of, I couldn't be a teacher under lower education. I've done long-term positions, okay, long-term teaching positions as a sub. But one teacher I was talking to the other day, we were talking, she said, it sounds like it's your calling. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. It's not the working with the students or anything like that. It's just so they give teachers a hell of a lot of work. Okay, there are how many thousands of videos on YouTube about people and why they've quit teaching. Okay, and a lot of times it's not. Sometimes it's a student thing, but if teachers are getting hit and hurt and all of that kind of stuff, yeah, hell. But they get a lot of work. They give them a hell of a lot of work. And from my understanding, people who know, teachers in this area, Northeast Ohio, are some of the highest paid in the country. Okay, because I've heard about teachers having to have second and third jobs. I'm like, what the fuck? That's supposed to be a whole profession. And I've looked at some of the salaries for teachers in the area in various districts, and I'm like, how? That's, I feel like they should get paid more, but that's not a bad salary. But then I found out, yeah, in Northeast Ohio, they're some of the highest paid in the nation. Okay, from what I've been told. Okay, but anyway, I wouldn't want to do it. I have heard people blame teachers so much for the behavior of their fucking children. No. Okay. Some shit begins at, these teachers don't care. No. So you gonna have people that don't care in every profession. You gonna have people who don't care. Okay. They're just there for a check in every profession. It's not okay. But I would think that I would think, okay, I haven't done no study and that shit like that, okay, and got no data here, but just only from my experience being in the schools, okay, you would think that given the state, okay, of a lot of what is happening in the world right now, if you are teaching lower education, you got to have some kind of love for it. Okay, because there's a whole lot of other shit you could do, make more money, and not have to put up with a lot of the stuff that goes along with it, politics of it. Okay, in areas and offices that you ain't never gonna sit in, and that you don't have access to, but and that you don't have access to, but they are in control of. Okay, but they are in control of what happens with your profession, your career, what you have to deal with and bow to and do. Okay, you just got to just go along with the shit. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So please, I feel like sometimes they may be burnt out. Okay. And I done seen some burnt out teachers. Okay. One time I had I first started subbing. I hadn't been in school, like lower education, since I had been in school. So I didn't know where the hell I was going. I knew the area, okay, but I didn't know the school. I was running a few minutes late and I pulled up and I was like, God, good God Almighty. I might have told this story, okay? I said, what the fuck is this? The parking lot was this big, okay? And the windows had that where you couldn't see through the windows, looked like a jail cell. And I said, some said, turn around, turn around. I was like, oh shit, I'm in the projects, okay? And I was about to turn around and leave. And I heard, I was like, no, you go in there and you signed up, you go do your work. Go do what you signed up to do. Okay. So I went in, okay, and it was just, I saw teachers, I'm like, man, he's burnt out, tired, burnt out. And they don't need nobody with, if they burnt out, they need to quit. People always got something. So quick to say what people should and shouldn't do. And you ain't even in the situation, in their position. Fuck out of here. Always criticizing. You know what the fuck you're talking about. In that you don't do it. You don't know their position and why they choose to stay. Okay. Maybe they actually enjoy what they do. Maybe they're dedicated to it. Okay. But shit, that don't mean they ain't burnt out. Shit. Okay. You could be a parent and be burnt out from parenting. Okay, but love being a parent, love your children, etc., etc. Right? And I could see why teachers are burnt out and tired. And I mean, it's completely and totally unappreciated, and it just trips me out how people are so quick to blame teachers for their children's behavior. I mean, I've talked to parents, okay, where I had to call parents because I was in a long-term position. Okay, I've had a few of them in a few districts, and the parent is blaming the school for your child's behavior, but they've been like that since they was 2. What the fuck are you talking about? The school failed. No, you failed your child. School been around since for a very fucking long time. It ain't a new phenomenon. And we just figuring this shit out. And I feel like there's some aspects, all of that extra work they got to do and all that, this mean, that mean. It's like, no, thank you. Okay. And all the politics of it. Okay. And you still got a lot of isms in this country. Okay. And you can see it sometimes in, okay. I ain't talking about no specific district. Okay. In case folks is watching. Okay. All right. But you can see it. Right. And that can go a myriad of ways, not just one way. Okay. And making excuses. I mean, it's like school is they're supposed to be learning, math and reading and whatever. Now, you're always going to have some behavioral issues. Hell, on your fucking job with adults. What's a behavioral issue? Being late all the motherfucking time. You're supposed to be there at 8, but you choose to be there at 8:30 every day. So, and what happens? You get consequences for that. Okay, you get your warnings. Okay, and whatever else. What difference does it make? It make a lot of fucking difference. Okay. Okay. You signed up for something and you want to get paid for it. But you signed up for something. First of all, there are other people you work with. But who the fuck are you to hold them up when they're ready to go the fuck home? And you supposed to take their shit. And then if someone says something to you, it's a problem. No, you're wrong. Period. Okay. So it's going to be behavioral things. But, when human beings, is always going to be some kind of consequences for poor behavior. Okay. Or behavior that I want to poor behavior that is problematic. If you want it to be a problem for you, fine, fuck it. Okay. But it's problematic for others that are affected by your problem ass behavior. It ain't a just do whatever the fuck you want to do and still receive reward for it. Or like they say, reward without effort. Okay. Do whatever the fuck I want to do and you're going to pay me for it. Nah. Don't work like that. Okay. And then when you get your ass kicked for it in whatever way, shape, or form, I'm talking about adults, okay? In whatever way, shape, or form, then you want to say that that person was wrong. No, you're wrong. And don't want to take accountability for the shit. Better to say I don't give a fuck. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm late all the time, or that's why I'm whatever the case is, than trying to act like you haven't done anything wrong. They disciplined me. And I didn't do nothing wrong. Well, what's the discipline about? They say I was late to work every day for a month. Were you? Well, yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. But anyway, okay. So, you want to help mold, what she said, it takes a village. Okay. It takes a village. What did it say, to raise a child or some shit like that? Okay. For the goddamn village. So when they are of age, adult age, and they run in the village, it can be run with some kind of order. But what are we going to have? Fucking order without, chaos. You want chaos without order, so you can bring in whatever kind of fucking order you want to bring in. And you motherfuckers are going to be subject to it and submit to it, because you ain't gonna have no fucking choice. Okay. This is what we're looking at right now. Okay. I remember during the pandemic a couple years back, I had a couple dreams, about 3. I ain't planning on talking about this, but you know how that goes. About 3, where they were look like, I was talking about like the Hunger Games, stuff like that. Look like the future, okay, of where they was going to be putting people's children. Okay. And the one dream, I don't remember who picked me up and who took me there, but I just remember being taken to a hotel downtown. Okay. And I'm not saying it was in this city, but I just knew it was a hotel downtown. It was like a tall, like a high-rise hotel. Okay. And I don't know why I keep thinking Holiday Inn. Okay. I don't remember seeing that or whatever, but that was my thought, Holiday Inn. Okay. Could be because, like, when I was little, every time I thought about a hotel, I thought Holiday Inn. Okay. And they took me to a room, and in the room was the lady who raised me, 2 of her nephews. Okay, both are deceased now, but at the time, only one was. Okay, in real time. Okay, in dream time, he was alive and kicking. Okay. They were in the room. It was a woman in the room who I didn't know. And I think maybe 1 or 2 more people who I didn't know, but I can't remember. I definitely remember those 2 though. And it was like, what they had done was they had taken people to these, you know how they talk about them FEMA camps and shit like that. Okay, these camps. Okay, it was like it felt like that, but if this felt like the transition into that. Okay, it's like something you could feel. I don't know what it was, but you could feel the chaos of what was happening in the world. Okay, with taking people to these quote unquote. Now they didn't say safe. Okay, but I got the impression that people were being told that they were safe houses or whatever for the time, for the time being. But clearly within myself, I'm like, this shit ain't safe. Okay, and it was they had a whole bunch of beds just stacked right by each other in there, and I remember they had a whole lot of snacks like chips and all kind of stuff in there that obviously someone had picked up on their way there or had prepared to take there. All right. So anyway, I was like, oh shit. I remember thinking to myself in a dream, this is the beginning of them camps. So they took us, no, not they. I had a conversation with those two, okay, who I thought were my cousins at the time, okay. I had a conversation with them, but I don't remember, because this was a long time ago, okay. I don't remember the conversation, but it was just like, I think it was something along the lines of me saying about, asking them, what is this? Why are we here, okay? And it's like they were trying to put families with each other. That's why the woman that was in there was like, she was the odd person out. She was not a member, of that. The other people in there were family or friends. Okay. I don't remember who they were though. All right. I think my sibling was in there, but I can't remember. Okay. But anyway, we left and we got in a white van. And the person who was driving the van was someone that I grew up in church with. And he was but he was deceased. Okay, he at the time of the dream. Okay, but again, in dream he's alive and kicking. But he was driving that van, a white van. I was in the back. There was a white woman and her son, and I'm trying to think, was there a man? Like was her husband there? I think there was a white man there because I don't remember exactly, but I kind of feel like there was. But I definitely remember this white woman and her son. And there was something about a twin. I don't know if that little boy was supposed to have a twin or something happened to the child. I don't remember. But anyway, the guy who was driving it, like I said, this was a guy I grew up with in church who had died. And I went to, all girl Catholic school. The brother's school was like on the same street, maybe about 6-7 minutes away. So when we were in high school, me and him were in the same grade. He lived right around the corner from me. He used to pick me up sometimes. This didn't last long, but this lasted a few weeks. He would pick me up and take me to school. The reason it didn't last long is I had to be in class in homeroom like by 8:30. He come like at 8:27. Okay. And I hated it because I didn't want to be late, But and it was a lot of curves that you had to go around to get there. He'd be flying. Boy. And a big old Buick, he'd be flying. But anyway, so that's how he was driving in the dream. Okay. And I remember at one point, it's like we were driving through the heavens, like, through the sky, through the clouds. Beautiful blue sky, very, very white clouds. But I looked out of the window and there were, how do I describe it? It was like children playing instruments. Okay. They were, like when you play in an orchestra, they were, but it was like they were practicing. Okay. They having their lessons and they were sitting in these seats, these hard chairs, and they had their music stand and the music, the music sheet open, and they were each playing different instruments. But you would think, oh, that sounds beautiful, right? No, it felt very, very sinister, very sinister. There were angels actually who were their instructors, but they were mean. They were really like mean to these children who were playing. It was almost like evil energy. And I remember thinking to myself, why they're angels, but why do they feel evil? Why? And they were mean to those children who were playing, like, hitting them, beating them. You know what I'm saying? And we flew through that. And next thing I know, we were at like a fun house, kind of like put you in the mind of a Chuck E. Cheese. Because it wasn't Chuck E. Cheese. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a fun house. But they had pizza and stuff there. And it was geared toward children. And uh, the little white boy in the van was telling us, don't go in there. Don't go. There was like, when the first stop in this Chuck E. Cheese type place, this funhouse type place, was a tunnel to go through to, well, you know how they have those distorted mirrors, right? And then you had to walk through there. You had to go through there first, and then come out on the other side to the rest of the funhouse and stuff. And he was telling us, don't go in there. I mean, this was a little boy, okay? He was under 10, okay? I'm thinking he might have been maybe like 7 or 8 at the most. And he was like, don't go in there. And we were like, why? And he said, because it's evil in there. It's going to distort, your reality of who you are. In other words, is what he was saying. Okay. But it's like, sure that they have those mirrors, but he was like, no, it's going to happen for real. Once you look in those mirrors, it's going to change your perception of reality, like for real. Okay, it's not anything to play with. That this is not like a really a fun house. It's a house of evil. Okay, I went in there, okay, and didn't look. I think someone else went in there, but I went in there, but I didn't look in the mirrors. I just walked through without looking in the mirrors. When I said, okay, I came out on the other side. When I came out on the other side, there was someone that I knew there. Okay, and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. Okay, now this is when, at the same time too, when the woman who raised me, when her nieces and nephews was doing all that dream infiltration and wicked evil shit to me, trying to make me eat stuff and give me food to eat, and I would reject it, I would throw it up and all of that type of thing. It was happening at the same time. But like I said, one of her nephews in the dream, they're brothers. One was deceased, one wasn't. But he was a police officer, and I believe he played a role in whatever them trying to take me up out of here. Okay. Him, and probably I would think that maybe there was some other one of his law police people, buddies involved. Okay. But definitely knew he made it the shit a little bit obvious. Okay. But anyway, never did with the dream stuff. See, he lived right around the corner from me. Never, in all the years I was there, he never came to see me. Okay. I had been over there a few times, but he never showed any concern about how are you, or is it everything going on well with you, or anything like that. Never. But see, when all of this shit was going down, then he comes over, and I could feel the evil energy off her, the lady who raised me, and her whole outside was distorting and morphing into like, what the fuck is this? Some evil looking something or other. He comes with fruit. And he was like, do you want some? I think I might have took some at the time. I trusted him. I thought what I thought. Okay. And I said, why are you, he claimed that, I get this fruit every once a week, once a month, or whatever the case is, and I have too much. Do you want some? And I was like, sure. But I knew it was something wasn't right. And I said, why are you here? Why are you bringing this? I said, did she tell you to, watch me? He just looked at me and smiled. He had this goofy smile, especially when you know how people, when they're caught or whatever, and you confront them with it, they have this silly ass, goofy ass smile. Well, he did. And, oh no, what you talking about? I'm just, yeah, okay, whatever. Okay. So this dream was doing this. It was in the same time period. Okay. But anyway, so I made it through the mirror tunnel room or whatever. And but see, what the little boy had also expressed to us was that they were doing in that funhouse, they were abusing children. They were sexually abusing children. And and it wasn't for adults to go through, it was for children to go through. Okay. And again, the mirror, once they looked in the mirror, it would completely distort their perception of reality. Okay. And that's why he was like, don't go in there. I mean, like, they would completely change. And they were abusing the children. I don't know if he meant just in that part or that whole funhouse thing. I went in there and I went in the bathroom, and there was something really gross. You could, after you went through that tunnel, you could really feel it. You could really feel how dense and dark, and evil it was. Okay. But I had to go to the bathroom. Okay, in the dream. Okay. So I go to the bathroom, and there was someone in there. I don't know, were they throwing up? It was just it's like something just happened in here. Okay, something really wicked and evil just happened in here. And it made me throw up, but I ran up out of the bathroom. I got up out of the bathroom, and I wanted to go back in the van, but I didn't. There was like a green wall, and the colors of this fun house were like lime green. Okay. And there was a little wall. It was painted lime green, and I just sat on the edge of that wall, and I woke up from the dream. And in the next dream I had, they had these children in these camps. And yeah, they had these children in these camps. And I was driving my car, and I was like, I'm going to go rescue these children and get these children out of here. And I went, and there was this like, how am I going to do this? Because when I got there at the camp, there were people standing on top of the roof, and they were looking down. And it's like, damn, it's no way to not be seen. Okay. But I was like, but I'm here. I'm going to get these children. And a child came out there like a little soldier. Okay. He had on a little soldier uniform. Dunk, 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 dunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, you ain't going to get nobody, And I don't remember how. Oh yeah, he was one of like the soldiers to keep people like me from getting there and getting to these children, to rescue the children. But he changed. It's like he changed. Like he came out there to like, soldier. You're not gonna get shit. Okay, but the people at the top of the roof, they were adults, but one of them was a woman. Okay. And it was just like she had on a uniform, but it was a skirt, a suit. Okay. But a skirt, not a pantsuit, a skirt suit. Okay. But it was a uniform, real dull color, the typical stuff like you might see in a movie like Brown or something like that, real dull. Okay. But she had on a red blouse. Okay. Like a dark red, not a bright red, a dark red. But they had like binoculars, like they were watching. And, he was able to help me get some of the children. Some of the children, I don't know, he was able to bring them out. I just remember someone having like a huge stuff. You remember those stuffed animals you would get like when you would go to, like a fair or like the amusement park that you would win, but they sat off the floor real tall and whatnot. It was like that. Somehow we were able to stuff that in my car, and I still didn't think we were going to be able to drive off the campsite, but we did. Okay, and that was the end of that dream. All right, I think I had like maybe 4 or 5 children in that car. Okay, and we got out of there. The third one I had it was a boat. It was not the same camp. Okay, and I was taken to this boat. And boat, obviously on the water, taken to this boat, and got on the boat. And it was like, if you didn't get what you needed before you got on that boat, you knew you were being taken to that boat. And I'm pretty sure the same story was being told, but it was more or less like at that point, it was like, this is where you're going. We don't have to give you no story about it. Okay. This is where you're going. And if you didn't get to anything that you needed when you left that house, you just was ass out. Okay. Whatever they had on that boat for you, if they had something on that boat for you, that's what it was going to be. And it wasn't going to be shit else. Okay. And I remember I got on the boat. It was a lot of Asian people on that boat. Okay, not a Chinese. I feel like they were Chinese. Okay, Asia is a big old huge continent. Okay, so anyway, um, and I just remember I didn't really have anything. I didn't have anything because I really didn't think I was being taken there. So I didn't have anything. So I remember I had to stand in line to wait to get like a toothbrush and stuff like that. And I remember looking at someone saying, "Well, when will we be able to go home?" And they were like, "Mm-mm, you know, we're not going home. This is it." Okay. And of course, the boat, it went off into the water off the dock or whatever. Okay. But I just remember those dreams, and I remember there were children surrounding the dream. And I remember in that last one I didn't have my daughter with me, so I was very, because in the dream, like, I think she was with her dad or something like that, and I thought, well, she was with her dad, I'm going to go here with these people. But I just remember from, and those dreams are like one right after the other, back to back to back. And I just remember thinking, they're going to do something to these children. Okay. I don't know. Not that others were not affected. Obviously, in the hotel, it was adults. But the second dream, it was just all about the children. The third one, it was adults, but it was still a children's theme there. Okay. And I just remember thinking they're going to, folks better wake up. They're going to do something to these children. I don't know. I always felt like, you can go anywhere today, the store, the restaurant, on the phone, whatever. And I know I'm not the only one. Okay, you have interactions with some of these younger people, and it's just like you are in two different spaces and time, two different worlds, two different dimensions. It's like, are you there? It's like there's something like this not connecting here. Trying to have a conversation or trying to handle some kind of business or whatever. It's like there's something there that's not connecting. Okay. And it's like you feel like you in world one world and they're in a whole nother world, and they don't realize that what the connections that needed to be made here have not been made. Okay. Now, people can talk about this generation is terrible, and that generation is terrible, and that generation is whatever, A, B, C, and D. If there is a powers that be, do they give a fuck about people's arguments with one another about what generation is terrible and what one is great and what one? They don't give a fuck about that shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, that's that divide and conquer shit. Okay, me personally, like I've said in a video before, do I think that all generations have been experimented on in some way, shape, or form? You're damn right. Okay. In some way, shape, or form, okay? Vaccines, food, social experimentation, through media, okay? Through social media, through all types of things. When you're born, who knows what they're doing to you, okay? What's being done to you, okay? I heard someone a long time ago say that, when children are born, they look at their birth chart, okay? And I'm like, I could see that, but with every single child that's born, that's a lot of work. You understand what I'm saying? But hey, people that are in it to win it, they don't mind putting in the work. Okay. People that's in it to win it, they're going to do the work. Okay. People that's going to hold power and keep their power, they're going to do the work. Okay. To hold it and keep it. All right. So that all of that is just it's empty. It's futile for people to have these arguments and think that the generation isms and all the isms, it's like something has been done, something in the water, something is being done. And if you honestly think that it's like, wake up. You know, these children are being affected. You have a world where young people are not given consequences for behavior where we have consequences for everything, okay? Where they should be given consequences. What are you teaching them? It's not about morality here. I'm not speaking that. If they're not, trained up in the way they should go, so that when they're old, they won't depart from it. Okay. And you make them think that they don't have to be held accountable for anything and just coddle them in everything that they do, and any and everything that they do is okay. You just really don't give a fuck because it's okay. Everything and anything is okay. You're just leading, that attitude just leads the world to nothing but chaos. Okay. And so when they are of age and they have to go out on their own, because eventually you're going to tell them you got to go. Okay. And go live out on the world, go live out, make the world, make a world for yourself, which you very well should. But yet they haven't been given the tools they need to live in a society of others. They don't know what being held accountable means, because they were never taught that. It's not about, oh, my child would never, get the fuck out of here. That child is a human being. Okay. Yeah, they would, just like you would. Certain things. I'm not saying any and everything. Okay. But there will be, I was watching, what was this movie I was watching the other day? I had to watch it for a study group. I think I've seen some people talk about on here, The World We Left Behind or something like that. And the guy was talking about the black guy, Ali is his last name. I can't remember his first name. He was talking about his client who, worked for or was part of the cabal, and he was saying the reality is ain't nobody running shit. You understand what I'm saying? You just got to do the best you motherfucking can, motherfucker, okay? Because ain't nobody running shit in this motherfucker, okay? Which is interesting, okay? But the reality is I get it on one level, what he was saying. But if a society decides, okay, this group right here, they can't hardly read, they can't write, they can't fucking function. And when we decide to turn off the whole, this shit right here is going to turn off, okay? But they can't read, they can't function, they pose no benefit to society at all. What do we do with them? What they say, the order out of chaos. What are we going to do with them? We're going to do something with their motherfucking asses. Plans are already underway. Plans been underway for how long? Because it's all been planned. While folks sit around talking about nothing. I didn't read me better, and all the isms and all the stupid shit. Okay. And in the meantime, there's somewhere like I said before, the bitch is right. Keep doing the stupid ass shit that you all are doing. Because ain't nobody fucking, as a whole, you're not fucking prepared. Oh, nobody saw that we were, that whoever was coming in and making all these changes and just told that you just got to deal with it. You just got to flow with it. Okay. And not realizing that these changes that were being made that we just got to deal with and that we just got to flow with are really undermining, okay, the society, okay, the home, the family, okay, humanity. It's really undermining it. You got with the people with this, the isms and the superiority complexes, and I'm better than you, and this group is my group is better than your group, and this my God is better than your God, and all of these types of better, this competing all the time with one another, while those, what they call them, powers that be, are just, implementing all the little shit they implement while y'all argue, while folks is arguing over nothing. Okay, something that's going to really set them back, really set the world back, if we so choose to do this. Okay. So you create a generation, okay, of humankind, humankind. They can work technology well, good. So when we throw you in whatever camps that we throw you in, you can do what we want you to do and be real good at that shit all day long. All day long. Okay. But you can't function socially. Okay. And the word breed. Okay. You're born and breed them. Okay. To nothing, to our being. To what we want and choose them to have and be and do. Okay. For our kind. Whatever kind that is, the reptilian folk or whoever the fuck they are. Because I don't know. Whatever these powers that, quote unquote, powers that be are. Okay. Y'all keep fighting about nothing. Okay. And just completely undermine in every way. So I was like, they're going to do something to these children. Okay. But by the time it's done, it will have been done. And, the minds of those who take care of them, who the state allow you to do, to take care of what you have created and brought in, are like mush, won't see it. I mean, it's like when I was watching, I said I watched, what's that, the Rise of the Third Reich. I'm like, oh, this is what's happening right here, right now. You can't even see it though. That Hunger Game shit. Oh, okay, futuristic shit. That the hand, what is it, Maiden's Tale or something like that. Okay, which I used to watch that. I think I watched about 3 or 4 seasons, and I was like, I can't watch this no more. This shit is too real for me. And my friend told me she's 10 years older than me. She read it when she's in her 60s, so she's like early 60s. So she read it, I think, when she was in her 20s, 30s. I mean, these shits, this information has been printed and given to us for a long time. Okay. So no need for anybody to be fucking surprised. Okay. We make movies. What they say, they have to show us what they're doing. We make movies. We put it in books. Okay. We let y'all put up y'all videos about it for so long. Okay. However, in games, but you all just take it as entertainment. So when the shit actually does happen and hit the fan, we told you. Okay. We told you my people perish for lack of knowledge. You don't want to know the truth. What's that scripture about? In the end days, people will be, they don't want to hear, won't want to hear the truth. Just whatever, like a sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. In other words, just lie to me. Lies. You don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to see the truth. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe that, yes, your child is it killed a little boy across the street. Okay, or beat their ass, or whatever the case. Let them continue to go in the building and be a hellion and terrorize everybody. I have seen children in classrooms. And now I've worked in 2 states, okay, in the classroom. Okay. in Ohio and in New York State. And I have seen children who are, they're trying to learn, but because of the chaos, okay, of others who can't give them consequences. Can't, in other words, we can't teach them. We're not allowed to teach them. Okay. Teaching, okay, like I said, you go to school is supposed to be to learn these subjects, but wherever humans are, there's going to be behavioral stuff as well. Okay, so you know what? It takes a village. No, we can't do that anymore. We can't teach them what is going to be the best for them as a human being and most appropriate for them. Okay, as well as others that are in the room. I have seen others in the room developing anxiety. I have seen, you can see it all over their face. Kids, the fuck? Not once, not twice. Seen it a lot because the others are in control now, and they rule and regulate, and can't nobody say nothing, and can't nobody do nothing. And they just sitting up there scared out of their fucking mind or developing anxiety. So by the time they in the 10th grade, they on some kind of fucking pill because of their anxiety. Okay. And I've had teachers tell me about students who either had to leave the school because their anxiety, because of the anxiety that they developed being in those rooms where, well, you just have to let them run amok. Okay. Or being told, but giving them consequences doesn't help them. It doesn't teach them. Look at the prison system. What prison you think they're going to go to when they get out of here and haven't learned that there are consequences to their behavior? Which one? None. That's just, it's not a generational thing. That has nothing to do with it. That's just what we teach human beings. That's just how human beings are taught in all cultures across the world. If A, then B. Duh. If then. And then you have, sometimes they have to be shown, demonstrated. And then they learn, I will not do that anymore. Because that was not healthy for me, nor others around me. So I take responsibility for me and what I've done, because it has been problematic to me and others around me. It's just really simple. It could all be so simple. So if people think that there's not going to be something, that there's not already something wherever, in some book underground somewhere, goddamn, who knows, okay, already plan Z, plan X. If folks think that's not already, okay, written, done, and about to be put in play, or is being put in play, it is being put in play. It's all a part of it. All works together. It's not happen chance. These things are planned. That's what do we call them? The powers that be. They're gonna keep their fucking power. And I'm hearing, and you have the nerve to call them that. We have the nerve to call them that. We're giving them that power. Of course. They don't plan for just today or tomorrow. Their plans are put underway, okay, for, I'm here millennium, I don't know, years, generations, so that when they're dead and gone and they descendants 2 or 3 generations down the line come into play, guess what? They're still a part of that powers that be collective. Okay. Or if these powers that be, if they were some reptilians or some kind of strange being we don't know shit about, or whatever, maybe they never die. Shit, I don't know. Y'all done seen them pictures of them celebrities that look just like, they find these pictures of people from way back in the day. I guess those pictures are real, and it's like it looks like the exact same damn person. I don't know. Shit. Okay. And it's like, why should they care? They're gonna keep their power. And it's like, I feel like they may feel like, you're not even worthy of holding any kind of power or any kind of stature over them because you didn't heed the lessons, okay, that we gave you. They didn't give. I don't think they will be giving the lessons to, for you to, for people to topple them in their regime. No, but still, it's almost like it's a weird game. We showing you, we telling you, and we've been telling you. I don't know. I really hadn't even planned on going into all that, but I did. Okay. So I think I was gonna do a reading. I think I'll come back later and do something. Like I said, it's a snowstorm. Okay. I may turn on some Netflix or watch some more YouTube videos. What was I gonna say? Oh, I might. I might do some open readings if anyone is interested. Maybe if I do, it will be like free 222. I would do free pendulum readings. Okay. Free yes and no. And then maybe like, I don't know, like $5 for a 2-card pull or something along those lines later on. Okay. But I can tell you right now, Mustard Puss, if you bring your ass over there and think you're gonna be funny or cute, I know your fucking energy, bitch. So stay your ass away. Or watch, whatever, bitch. I don't care. Give a fuck, but don't think you're gonna play me. You already did that. Okay. That will not be allowed anymore. Okay. It's so interesting. I posted on my community tab some of the emails. I told the bitch I had all the emails. Okay. Some of the stupid shit. But I was reading them emails, not emails, texts rather. And I was just like, I thought oh shit, my heater went out. I think my heater went out. And I was just like, you know what? I wish I would have never, ever talked to this bitch. It's just like embarrassing. You open up and confide to someone and talk to them thinking, things are cool and all of that kind of stuff. I was just like, this is a real con right here when I was reading some of them. Real con. But these are lessons that we have to learn in life. And I'm thankful for mine. All right, I'm going to get on up off of here. And maybe I'll be back later. All right. Have favor. Peace.